So I guess a lot of you have seen the video I made on how this guitar was made. If you haven't watched that yet, please go and take a look. I think it's one of the best videos on this channel. It's a pleasure watching what it takes to make a guitar like this. And I've been asked about some more detailed footage of the guitar and some more sound bites. So first you will get that, then I'll explain why I haven't really liked Strats that much before and why I think this is the finest Strat that I have ever tried. So I haven't really been into Strats until the last few years, I would say, because of three different reasons. And the first one being my first guitar was a really bad Washburn Strat copy. Not a good guitar at all. Then I upgraded to an Ibanez Strat, and that was hardly an upgrade at all. It was also horrible. So I think I got a bit burned on Strats in the beginning, which was totally unfair to a real Strat, to Fender, because the guitars that I got, they were not good at all. And the second reason, when my eyes open up to different guitar brands, models and shapes, mostly through guitar players that I really liked, the Strat wasn't really represented among those players. This was in the early 2000s, and I think it's safe to say that the Strat wasn't the guitar of that decade. You can probably mention some guitar players who played Strats back then, but you were a lot more likely to see Tellys, PRSs, and Les Pauls, and later on, Jazzmasters. The third reason being that the Strat is probably the guitar that sounds the most different from all other guitar types. Even when I was able to get my hands on a good Strat, it was quite clear that it had less output and less low end than most of my other guitars. This especially gets very evident when you have a rig set up for a Les Paul or a Tele and you plug a Strat into that rig. It sounds very different. So there's a bit of a learning curve to how to use a Strat, and that took me quite a long time actually. But once you learn how to use them, I think they are fantastic. And even for me, someone who is mostly interested in rock coming from bands that don't play Strats. Yeah. And why is this the best Strat that I've played? I have reviewed a couple from Fender before and I stand by what I said in those videos. Both the American Ultra and the Player Plus are both great guitars. I guess the only problem with them for me is that they were a bit too modern, both sound-wise and how they look. And I also did own a custom shop Strat from Fender. That one had the looks and the sound, but the neck was just way too thin for me to get comfortable with. Yeah. Up until this one, the best Strat style guitar that I've ever played was a McMull at Henning Polly's studio. I remember thinking, can Strats really be this good? So when we started the planning of the video where this guitar was made, I was really nervous if my new guitar to be could beat that McMull. And I'm glad to say that it did, but to be fair to the McMull and the other Strats that I played, this guitar was made exactly how I wanted it to be. I chose the neck shape, I could feel it, and I could change the neck shape as we made it if I wanted to. The color and aging is just perfect. Everything is how I like it to be, which is a bit unfair to the other guitars. But yeah, still, this is just a fantastic guitar. So now I really like Strats, or I mean, I really like this guitar.